Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. So congratulations first. Very, very.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So it will be a short sort of interview, right? And the purpose is same each year, the same purpose, right? Just to help law students. Okay. So I will be asking a
Yes.
series of the questions purely related to law. Okay. And try to be, as you can say as much as you can. Okay. Not try to be brief, right? Try to be more and more, elaborative. Okay. So that ultimately people take guidance, right? You must also have taken guidance. Okay. So guidance, especially with the toppers, it is very nice that when you guys say something, people respond a lot. Okay. So let's
Yes, sir.
चलिए तो start करते हैं. Okay, so tell me first about a little bit about yourself.
Uh, so my name is Jaspinder Singh, and this year I gave a second attempt, that is CSE 2021, and my option is law, and I secured rank 33 this year, sir.
Okay, and what is your educational background? You're a law graduate, right?
Yes, sir, I'm law graduate. I have done my graduation from Punjab University, Chandigarh.
Okay.
5 years law
5 year
course.
law course. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let us start directly with the law options. Okay, right? So let me ask you first that for constitutional law, which books or what was your approach to study constitutional law?
So with respect to constitutional law, actually, I had in my 5 years law course, I developed kind of love for constitutional law. So the book that was referred to us by our teachers, so it is not the book that normally told by other colleges. So there was Professor Narendra Kumar. So I referred to his book, and I read that book for constitutional law, and then I have done it from the same book from which I gave my exams in my 5 year law course. So I made very short notes later on, but I am a book reader rather than having notes of the Constitution. I just read the books twice, thrice, like how the I know. Yes, sir. Again and again, I used to read the book, and later on, for the revision purpose, when I have to give the test series, for that I started making short notes while giving the test series. So that is how it
Any
works.
any particular area in the constitutional law that you thought that it would be more important and you give more focus?
So in the beginning, when I was in the law 5 years course in my university times, that at that point of time it was more regarding fundamental rights and DPSPs. But when I went through the syllabus of UPSC, it was equal distribution, rather more inclined towards uh, that the basically polity part, that is president and the powers of the president, powers of governor, and then that is federal structure and all. So basically later on these questions, they are repeated, sir. We know that previous year questions are repeated,
In
right?
fact, if you have listened to me, right, I have always told that prepare 80% question which is completely, you will see that it is repeated ones, right? And you have to simply prepare the notes regarding it. Okay.
Exactly, sir.
Same second thing I wanted to ask about admin law. Admin law syllabus is quite shorter, right? But we have books which are very longer. So how did you tackle the admin law?
So for admin law, I referred again to the book. Upadhyay was there in our college times.
Got
So
it.
I read few topics from that. I right now like, and later on I read Dukki, that AK Jain again for administrative law. I didn't read much from Upadhyay while preparing for UPSC. Rather, I read it from Dukki for admin law. Sir.
It's very shorter and that's good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let us move to paper, part B of paper one, that is international law. Very huge syllabus. So which book and how did you tackle it?
Uh, Sir, in my college, I read H.O. Agarwal, but later on that I found that nutshell book of, I think that is the book SP, what the book is. Right now, I'm not able to recall
No,
the book.
that's all right. SP something, right? Generally people, go for Kapoor also. I, matlab,
S.K. Kapoor, yes, sir.
SK Kapoor, yeah, SK Kapoor.
I have read S.K. Kapoor. I have read H.O. Agarwal during my college times, and later on I went. I thought that I need some not that big book, so I read from Nutshell of S.K. Kapoor.
So nutshell of the SK Kapoor. Okay, no, because I have also supplied. You also might have got it right. That but there are some of the topics which you don't find in SK Kapoor, right?
Yes,
Like
sir.
international terrorism or something like that, right? So for that, what you have referred?
Sir, for that part, I tried that. I had that nutshell of SK Kapoor. Usme they keep on adding few things, right, in the back with the stars in the post. So something related to nuclear terrorism is also little things are there. I used to scroll through the book, and yeah, usme I used to find something from SK Kapoor only. Like there are few things mentioned in that. It is not that very defined and detailed thing. So, but yes, a mere idea, right? And later on, internet was used by me for that. And even I refer to Duki for that. So it was both mix and match of nutshell of SK Kapoor as well as Duki, sir.
Duki, right? So a lot of people are referring Duki. Last year also that, girl of 81 ranks, he was also telling me, sir, I read Dukis. So Dukis seems to be, very interesting, books.
It's
And
very handy, sir. Actually, like it's very easy to revise from that, right? So that is the major reason that.
I am pass of the out of Delhi University only, right? So I know Duki, very first hand, right? Because in our exams also, in our days also, we used to use that Duki only, before exam, right? So that is very handy. You are talking about Duki of that, there's two type of Dukis that are available, right? One is
AK
of,
Jana, sir.
yeah, AKJ, and AKJ is much better, much smarter rather than the other one. There's other one also, but that is not, such a nice Duki. This is very good. Okay, so let us come to a very small fact of Dukki. Dukki is basically nothing DU key. It's Dukki. Okay.
Okay.
It's DU key, Dukki. Okay, anyhow. Next, let us come to paper 2 about crime. I know in crime, offense related to human body, the question comes more, right? But still, nowadays, we have a situation where we have questions from every section of the topic rather than, some concentrated part that we used to have earlier. So how did you handle that? Because they say there were questions related to FRA and something like that. Those questions are generally not asked. Normally, those questions do not come. So how did you tackle it? I mean, have you studied each and every provision of the IPC, or you were very selective about it?
So no, I was not very selective about it. I read the entire book with respect to syllabus, whatever is mentioned. I read the entire book,
So syllabus is
and
whole IPC syllabus. If you see the syllabus of the topic, right, it is basically
sir,
whole IPC.
so I have read the entire book, and
काफी मेहनत किया है
also,
फिर आपने, हाँ? That's why
Hanji sir.
regarding.
So yes, sir. And then later on, I made notes from that from the book, and that is how I did my
Okay. And what
criminal.
about, yes, what about this law of tort? How did you handle that?
सर आर के बांगिया के पीछे जो समरी दी हुई होती है ना आई डिडंट लाइक आई जस्ट relied upon that.
So that was more than sufficient.
Yes, sir.
That's very good. And I know in CLD part I helped you some bit. So, but people are very much confused with regard to CLD, right? So please give a very elaborate advice that how to tackle CLD.
So CLD, I again made notes from my own coach, not own. I didn't take any coaching. What that was, my like 5 year course. There we used to study from various books, right? So there is not much material available. But what I did was that during my that class notes I had of this IT laws, I had the class note before the final exams. Like I had IT laws in my last year, and I had this IPR again in my last year only.
Having IPR, yes.
So in the last year, I was a bit conscious that yes, I have to study for my optional as well during my civil services. So I while preparing for those final year exams, I used to make very short notes with respect to the syllabus. In last 3 days after reading the book, I used to just write those points, and I dwelled upon those pointers. And also the class notes in of my 5 year law course of IT laws and of IPR, they helped me.
The notes that I supplied to you, was it any helpful, or I need to improve it further?
So that is with respect to environmental law. I used your notes because they were very crisp and yes, they were
Did you?
quite helpful. And even competition laws.
Okay, so did you dump competition? Yeah, very nicely I have made it. Did you did any some addition, because the other guy I was interviewing, she told me, "Ki, sir, I did some add-on also." So did you did some add-on in that notes also?
So before I got the notes from your side, I have made few environmental law notes on my own as well.
Oh, so the
Uh,
reason I am asking that you will supply me those notes, okay? So I will help it to improve the notes itself, okay? To
Definitely,
do
sir.
that, I will, send it to the Telegram group also to the people. They will, study it, okay? Okay.
Sir, like there is environmental law, right? So for I did it combine clubbed it with the international law as well as of like the entire environmental law. I clubbed it together and then I read it.
Then I read.
The portion is also there in
In the
uh,
international environmental law. In the
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, some very generic question which people generally ask, you must have also got it, or in the subsequent days you will get it right. That is, what do you have to say about this GS law overlap? Do you think that there is a lot of overlap and somehow this having law optional have helped you in the GS subjects as well?
So it has helped me. I got 123 marks from GS2, sir, and it is like law optional that has helped me to add the brownie points in each and every answer of GS2. So, like what Justice Patanjali Sastry is saying in AK Gopalan versus Union, and what
You told me
other.
on phone also, if you remember, on the day that result came, ki sir, I used to pick point the judgment line and I used to write it down, right?
Yes, sir, I was able to recall that in my GS answers. Yes, sir. So similarly, what justice, various other justice, for example, Justice Ramana's few statements this year that could have been used in GS2 paper, and also what CBI, what Supreme Court is saying about CBI, or things like that
You were
can.
citing the judgments or you're citing the judge's name that this judges have said
Uh,
this.
yes, sir. Like when it comes to Justice Patanjali Sastry or few judges, like what they regarding PIL again, I used to quote judges. So regarding like I used to quote Lord Denning as well at times. So like
Is
so yes,
like a banyan tree in the law, right? Everything grows around him. Lord Denning, very famous lawyer. Okay, what about that non GS2 part? Does it help you in economics or in some part of essay, or it was just separate? I mean, to with respect.
even in the essays, law is very useful, and also law is useful in your society portion as well. For example, uh, we in law, it is not just that law or as an optional, but yes, in law, society helps in a way that you cover various laws like Domestic Violence Act and these all acts you have studied in your 5 year law course, right? So they are very helpful. Senior Citizen Act was there. So like such acts, they are RTI is again there, right? So they are overlapping with your GS2 as well. And so with the society, I believe that when you add the laws in the society portion, so it gives weightage to the answers.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. And I will take the last question for you, right? That is with regard to that. What advice would you give, law optional, that whether they should take law or not, or they should move for some other subjects.
So if a person, he or she has invested 5 years or 3 years like time in with respect to law, then I think there is no harm in taking law as optional subject. If you are having the interest for law, you must take it. If you have done law, I think for your first preference should be law. Yes, if you feel like that this syllabus is vast, yes, it is vast, but it is well defined. You must be very clear with respect to that the syllabus is well defined. If you're able to answer all the previous year questions, not all the previous year questions, obviously, if you are able to answer a good number of previous year questions after doing your law, just go through those previous year questions. You'll feel like these are very general questions. Yes, sir, that every law student can answer. So maybe you will be like, okay, I can take law as an option. But without going through the previous year questions, please don't make any judgment that you're not going to take law as an optional subject. Uh, so only thing that is difficult is to revise the huge syllabus.
Right.
So only that is the difficulty. But the point is that can again be done. It is your interest. It is your 5 years or 3 years investment in that very subject, right? So something was of interest which kept you going for 5 years or 3 years in that subject. So you must use this in your optional subject. But again, so I want to tell my experience that I started my 5 year law course and I have taken sociology as majors in my BA LLB honors, right? So there I took sociology so that I will be taking it as an optional subject. But I
You
ended up,
started in the beginning itself.
yes, sir, in the beginning, while after my 12th, I thought I'll be taking sociology as an optional. Uh, but in the end of the journey, what happened that I ended up taking law as an optional and not sociology as an optional, because I was able to answer more previous year questions with respect to law rather than sociology after my like during my degree.
I think that while studying law, you got so much interested, right? That you started to like actually law, right? So the original thought process of taking sociology somehow took the back bench, right?
Yes, actually, I've done various moot court competitions on the constitutional law. So there developed a kind of love for constitution. Yeah.
I
So
must say that you are, if you would not have been a civil servant, you must have been a good lawyer. So that is a very great loss to the bench, or in fact the bar, right? But that's all right.
probably.
That's all right. There's always the chance, right? There's always the chance. After a few years, right? If you want to come back, right? Bar will always be. Okay. The last, okay. So that was last. One more question actually. That is from the my side, because this there are some of the students like in the test series batch, lot of people, right, who could not qualify, right? They have written brilliant answers, right, but who could not qualify. There is one specific student of NLU Bangalore, right, as Mr. Anime is, right. So he got, his friend got qualified this year, 70 or something rank. He could not qualify, right. So there's this feeling sets in that, sir, I don't know what is going to happen, because he got very less marks in essay, only 80-85 marks in essay. And this time essay paper, you must have seen, the question was very out of blue. So any word of wisdom for them, that how can they can keep motivating themselves, something like that.
Uh, Sir,
I know it is a sort of an emotional question, sort of a question, right? That should come, the answer should come out of heart. So what do you have to say about that?
exactly, sir. I wasn't able to clear my first prelims, right? So what kept me going was that my score in prelims was not that bad. It was just that you needed some effort, right? That so that you could clear the prelims. And first of all, the very important thing for any aspirant is to know himself or herself, right? That what capability he's having, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses with respect to the subjects that I'm going to take or subjects that I have taken, right? So that is very important. And we just need to keep on like strengthening our weak points and keep on maintaining our strengths, right? So if yes, there have been failure, but the point is, if we are very clear with what we want to achieve, with what we want to have in our life, right? So then we have to start it again, and we have to make all the efforts count that we have put in last 2 years again. If we want to make those efforts count, so we have to work hard for next year as well, right? So, and again, I have always believed in my life, Jimmy Godi Onni Dodi. So the hard work you do, your fruit will be proportionate to that, sir. And if you have done the hard work in your previous attempts, so that will again be the fruit in your next attempt. So it will never be wasted, sir. That is what I have learned till like today. Whatever has been done, whatever hard work you have put in anything, so that will be useful somehow, somewhere,
It will
at
be.
some time. Yes, sir.
If you do good, ultimately you will reap good, right? That is something very correct.
Yes, sir.
Very wonderful. Chaliye, to best of luck and keep communicating. And I will give you a task specifically next time when people qualify for, I mean, after mains, when they go for interview, I will again call you. Okay, please help them out. At least tell your experience. How to go about it, what they can do, etc., etc. Okay, I know you must be in service or in the training, and you might not have time. So in the night time itself, okay, at least because you have just given, right? So the people who have given 4 5 years earlier, so they might not be as helpful as you will be, because some of the UPSC members might be same till the next time also. Okay, so please help them
Yes.
if required, right? And also I will ask you, one more request I will have you, that you make YouTube videos also, right? People generally are, I was also very, not very good at YouTube making, etc., etc., right? But I have found that people all over India actually watch YouTube, right? So if you can, make some videos that how to read this, how to read that, right? So that will be really helpful for experience. Okay, so if you have time, I'm not saying that right away you start a YouTube channel, right? But if you have time, right, once you are settled in the life, you have time, right? So please do that also. Okay.
I'll definitely try, sir.
Okay.
And sir, if something you can do to help, like if some of your efforts can make difference to the lives of others, sir, so that is very like satisfying, sir. So that can be done, sir.
Yeah,
I'll
that is why
try.
law is referred as a noble profession. That is why, right? And you have spoken truly like that. That is very good. That is very good. चलिए तो let us wind it up for today. Okay, ठीक है? And we will have
Thank you so much, sir.
problem. We will, I mean, we will have a chat. Okay.
Thanks, sir.